So what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Robert. If this is your first time tuning in, so you're probably wondering, what the hell are you doing at a cemetery? Well, I'm going to tell you another unconventional side hustle that you can easily start just by purchasing a lawnmower for a couple $100. Usually a riding lawnmower. Push lawnmower is going to be a lot of work, but you can definitely do it with a couple $100 on a used lawnmower. And the next thing is a weed eater. Those two things can help you get started to start making a couple extra $100 a week, if not a day, guys. So a quick backstory. So how do you even know about this little side hustle? So we used to do this about 15-20 years ago. Used to do this stuff, kind of showing my age a little bit, but yeah, about 15-20 years ago, we used to come out here, my dad, my uncle, and myself, and cut cemeteries. So cemeteries pay very, very well. They need to be maintained very well. They are on a schedule. You know, this is a reoccurring revenue source for you. They need to be weed eated around the headstones. The grass needs to be mowed. The family members of the deceased want their deceased, plot of land looking good. They don't want it just looking like shit. So the cemeteries have to be upkept usually by the churches. So I'm going to explain how you can get the contracts. I'm going to explain to you the equipment, how much they pay, all of that stuff. Just stay tuned. I'm getting there. Just giving you a little bit of backstory. So again, 15-20 years ago, we were getting paid between $200 and $300 to take care of this one cemetery. And it's about the same size as this one here. I'm going to kind of just turn around so you guys can see. Probably about an acre of land, I would say. I'm going to get on this side of the sun. It's probably about an acre of land. And basically all you do is you weed eat all around the headstones. You mow the grass. It's not as much work as you think for the pay you're gonna make. Now I'm here because my mom is actually buried at this cemetery, so that's the reason I came to this one. This isn't the cemetery that we actually came and cut grass to. Again, so I came out here to this cemetery. I chose this one because my mom is buried here. I was gonna come see her, and I thought, well, I'll go ahead and make a video on an unconventional side hustle that we used to do. So again, these churches, they need these things maintenance, pretty regularly, usually about twice a month. Again, when you have droughts like here we have in Texas, it's usually be about once a month, but for the most part, usually about twice a month. And most churches have multiple cemeteries. There's churches out there that have 4 or 5 cemeteries because they're a large church. This one's actually, the church I attend has 3 cemeteries. So again, you can, just with one client, you can have multiple contracts, multiple properties to manage and to take care of. Now, why is this better than having, a landscaping service where you go and take care of multiple residences? One, you deal with one person. You're going to deal with one person, guys. You're not dealing with multiple homeowners. You're not going to be dealing with different personalities. You're dealing with one person who is in charge of these cemeteries. For instance, if you took this church on, you would have 3 properties. 3 properties, and you deal with one person, and you're gonna make quite a bit of money doing this. So the next thing is less liability. With houses or residential areas, you might damage a car if you flick a stone somewhere or a stick and it damages a vehicle. What else? Windows, you could actually accidentally break a window. Sprinkler systems. Now some cemeteries do have sprinkler systems, but for the most part, most of them don't. And again, you're dealing with different people, different personalities. It's just a lot more complicated versus getting contracts with the cemeteries. I mean, who's going to complain other than maybe some of the family members that you didn't cut their headstones, their family's headstone. But that's about the most of it, guys. And they have to maintain it because the people will complain. The family members will complain, hey, to the church, hey, the grass is getting a little long. Could you have somebody go out there and cut it? That's when you get the phone call, hey, we need the grass cut again. Or you can just have it on a reoccurring basis, and that way you know exactly when, where, and what time you need to be out there to start taking care of it. All right, so let's start getting into the nitty-gritty details about the cemetery business. So first off, again, we were making about $200 or $300, and that was about 15-20 years ago. Since then, something like this is paying around $500 to $600 per cut But if you target those larger churches who have more operating income or operating capital to work with, they'll pay more money. So keep that in mind as well. The larger the church, the more money they have. This church is a fairly good size mid-range church, so they pay between $500 and $600 to come out here and take care of this. Now again, this has to be taken care of every 2 weeks. So with that being said, now you're going to be making, say, okay, let's just say $600, right? I guess I should walk this way because of the sun. If you're getting paid $600 to come out here and cut the grass, you do it twice a month, that's $1,200 for one cemetery. Now let's just say they have 3 cemeteries, which they do. Now you're gonna do, you know, 6, 6, and 6. That's $1,800 a week to take care of it. $1,800 a week if you take care of the cemetery, well, of the church's cemeteries. $1,800 a week to take care of the cemetery. Again, but you're doing this bi-weekly. So now in a month, just with one church, you're gonna make $3,600 a month as a side hustle doing this. Now we'll quickly talk on how long does it take. Well, it depends. It depends on some of the cemeteries. So if you can pick up some cemeteries that don't have a lot of deceased people buried there yet, it's gonna be super easy. You're just gonna be mowing it back and forth because you don't have to be weed eating. A lot of these newer cemeteries will have that availability where you're not having to weed eat so much. You're just mainly on the lawnmower going back and forth, and it goes by a lot faster. Now if you start going into these bigger metropolitan areas, bigger cities, more than likely they're going to be overcrowded cemeteries. It's going to be a lot of weed eating. But for me particularly, we live out in the rural area, so there's a lot of space between the deceased and there's not as many headstones. So it's a lot easier, a lot faster for us. Usually within 2-3 hours, we had it knocked out. 2 or 3 hours for sometimes 2 people, sometimes 3 people. Just depends. And remember, I was a kid. I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. I was a little kid. So it went by really, really quickly. So if you figure, you know, $600 for what, 2-3 hours of work, it's not bad. $200 an hour. You can definitely do 2 cemeteries in a day. And if you really want to push it, you could probably get all 3 done, depending on how close and how close they are to each other. Now again, $3,600 a month with one church. You're dealing with one individual. How many houses, how many properties, how many homes would you have to cut? How many lawns would you have to cut to make $3,600 a month? How many people would you have to deal with? Multiple people, right? With the cemetery business or cemetery contracts, you're dealing with one individual who has 3 cemeteries. A lot simpler, a lot less headaches, and a lot less stress. There's no one here. There's no one here to be watching you because usually people are at work. It's just, you know, trust that you're going to do it correctly and trust that you are going to do it accurately and punctually, and you know, you're going to do a good job. And they will let you know if you do not do a good job. They will let you know, hey, you know, we're gonna have to go with somebody else, you're not doing things correctly, etc. That's how we ended up getting this job, is the people before us were not doing a good job, so they ended up giving it to us. Now again, if you go out and you talk to multiple churches, you can go ahead and get another church. Maybe they have another 3 cemeteries. Now you just bumped your income up to over $6,000 a month doing this as a side hustle, guys. You can do this on the weekends. You can do this on the weekends, make an extra $6,000 on top of your job, guys. That's a lot of money. I mean, that's a lot of money today. You know, an extra $6,000 will, you know, usually makes more than what most people make from their regular job. So let's go ahead and quickly talk about how do you get these contracts? How are you going to get these people to give you your business? For one, it's good to have some good visuals. If you've done this before, or say you have been doing residential lawns, give them a card, give them some photos, some proof that you actually do good work, some reviews, etc. A lot of these bigger churches who have more capital, they have more people going up to them requesting, you know, their business. So you have a lot more competition with them. If you come out to these rural areas, they don't have as much competition. but they're still going to expect a good quality work done. So if you have some images, if you have reviews, use that, leverage that, and just start driving out to all these churches, dropping off your information, letting them know, hey, if you ever need any services, if you ever need any maintenance with your cemeteries, let me know. This is what we do. I have a business. This is the business's name. These are our reviews. These are our current clients, etc. And they may give you a shot. And you do this over and over and over again, guys. So it's a lot of hustling, a lot of driving around at first just to get that first client. But once you do, you're gonna be very, very happy. And for the amount of money you're gonna make, I definitely think it's worth it to put in that effort, to put in that time. I personally think it's worth it. Because again, you're gonna make, you know, $3,600 with that one church if they give you the jobs. $3,600 to be driving around, and to find that job is not a bad price to pay, in my opinion. Now, if you're doing all this effort for, say, $100, probably not worth it. But again, we're talking thousands of dollars here. So it's personally, in my opinion, worth it. So how much does it cost to basically start this up? A couple $100 for your lawnmower, buying a used one. Again, we're doing this very cheaply. We're saying that we have very minimal money. We're trying to get this business up and off the ground. So a used lawnmower off of Craigslist, Marketplace, OfferUp, those are all good places to find a good quality used riding lawnmower. If you can get yourself a zero turn, obviously that's gonna be better. Back then when we were doing this, zero turns went around. But if you can get yourself a zero turn, that'll definitely help you out. But again, for the sake of the video, zero turns are more expensive, so we're gonna stick with a traditional riding lawnmower. Usually a couple $100, you can get one. And if you're handy, you can get a fixer-upper for about 150 bucks and fix it up, and there you go. The next thing you're gonna need is a weed eater. Weed eater, you know, they're used, they're only about 100 bucks, 120 bucks for a cheaper one. If you want to go high end, yeah, you can definitely spend a lot of money. But fuel to cut the grass, weed eater string, and a little bit of mix for your weed eater, oil mix, the 40 or 50 to 1, whichever one your weed eater is going to use, and some water, a vehicle to get there, and there you go. You got a good little side hustle to make quite a bit of extra money. And again, that money is life-changing for people today. There's really two hard things when it comes to money. One is, how do you make it? Second is, how do you spend it? How do you allocate it? That's the second part of getting money. First part is, how do you get it? That's, you know, one of the hardest steps. Second step is, once you have the money, what do you do with it? So with $6,000 a month, $3,000 a month, whatever you're trying to do, you can do a lot. You can change your life, guys, very, very quickly with that kind of cash. If you allocate it and invest it properly. So again, I hope this helps people out. I know that a lot of people are struggling to make ends meet, to find ways to make extra money for their family. So that's the reason I'm putting out these videos of unconditional love, unconventional side hustles. So hopefully it'll help people out. But yeah, guys, I hope it helps. Give this video a like, share, and a subscribe. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go talk to my mom for a little bit. But be careful, be good, take care, and God bless. See you guys later. Bye-bye.